Here, let's do a quick beer analysis. My favorite part of it is that it's long and hard and black.
Why does he care so much about it being long, hard, and black?
I don't care the color, it doesn't matter, white, black, tall, thin, tall, matters, but I don't understand this.
Why the hell would I ever do that? I'm into fitness or whatever. Because your boy cares about
Coach Greg, in today's video, you're not going to believe it, they let Dr. Mike out into the real world. And what was he doing? He's doing some grocery shopping, something of which men like Dr. Mike or myself, we just don't do anymore. Dr. Mike, he normally gets his butlers to do this. I get my chefs and my staff, my team to do all this. But for the sake of a video for educational purposes, he's going to teach us exactly what you should be eating, what you should be avoiding in order to perhaps build the physique like Dr. Mike and or other people who are very lean in the real world. And so for many years, these have been my favorite videos to make. It gives me the chance to teach and educate you because it's way easier to be lean than you think. If you purchase the right kind of foods, it's going to make your weight loss journey that much easier. And I like to say this, it's easier to say no once at the grocery store, as in, no, I'm not buying those donuts. No, I'm not going to buy that cake once at the grocery store than it is to say, no, I'm not eating you every single time you walk by the kitchen.
That's what she said.
And so what this is being proactive with your health. If you purchase the proper things, you say no to things that you perhaps don't want to eat all the time, it's going to make your diet significantly easier.
everyone's watching me. Talk to a cell phone camera. I'm at the Kroger in Brighton, Michigan.
Dr. Mike in the real world should be a series. Really nice for the store to have a child-sized shopping cart just for Dr. Mike. And so many of you don't realize this. They do have different size grocery carts for men of shorter stature. Manlet-sized people like Coach Greg and Dr. Mike, they do offer child-sized grocery carts for our convenience.
Veggies. I either get like 9 penis-shaped foods or 1 long penis-shaped food.
And so the first thing he's getting is vegetables. These are low-calorie dense foods that are high in fiber. Remember, cucumbers only have approximately 100 calories per pound. And so essentially, you can eat as many of them as you want and you're not going to gain some weight. You might be thinking, no, this isn't true. If I overeat anything, I'm going to be overweight. I disagree. I dare you to try to gain weight by only eating cucumbers. I eat 4,000 calories a day. I would have a very difficult time consuming 40 pounds of cucumbers. And so if I went on a diet that was primarily consisting of vegetables, very easy to lose weight. I can't think of anyone that's morbidly obese that eats primarily vegetables. And so if you switch over from eating burgers, fries, candies, and so on to eating vegetables, guarantee you're going to lose weight.
Penis-shaped foods or 1 long penis-shaped food.
And unlike Dr. Mike, when I go grocery shopping, I don't immediately think that the cucumbers are resembling a penis or perhaps a dildo. It doesn't occur to me like that, but hey, to each his own. And so off to a great start. Strongly recommend you get some cubes.
Now we need an actual functional food that unites body and soul. Broccoli slaw goes into my beef and rice and turkey.
And so broccoli slaw, excellent choice, very low in calories. And primarily most of the vegetables that you're going to see, like lettuce, spinach, cucumbers, mushrooms, and so on, they're all around 100 calories per pound. And a pound, it's a lot. And so what I've done with Cookbook 3.1 is the calories for the vegetables are listed. And so if you go into the back, you'll see, for example, how much fiber, how much calories, how much protein you get from various vegetables. But even if you don't have the book, just trust me. Vegetables are very low in calories. Some have more and some have less, but in general, as long as it's a vegetable, try to eat a lot of it.
Next up is fruit. A lot of lifters don't eat fruit for some reason. I can never tell why. Pineapple chunks. Because I have infinity money, it's $5 for this shit.
Next, fruit. And so essentially we're going down the list in order of the lowest calories to more calories. Fruits in general have more calories than vegetables. They have more sugar. And some people are thinking, oh, but it's fructose. It's going to make you fat. Why? Because both letters start with an F. Fat and fruit, they both start with the letter F, but they have nothing in common. Fruit is amazing. I don't care if you're dieting for a bodybuilding competition, if you're doing triathlons, whatever. Fruit is great. I eat a shit ton of it. I eat perhaps a pound every single morning. Blueberries, strawberries, kiwi, you name it, I'm eating it. And so if you load up first on the vegetables and the fruit, you're setting yourself up for success.
Also, I have about 50 different kinds of autism, so I need the chunks to be perfectly pure and clean and chopped up.
Has nothing to do with autism. Everyone wants to have goo-free pineapple, but here's the thing. It's way too much money. Dr. Mike and I, who have unlimited funds, we're essentially universally rich. We're wealthy. We don't need to worry about this, but yet when I go to the grocery store once or twice a year and I see these foods, I'm thinking, how does it cost that much? And so I don't know how people can afford it. It is so expensive to buy your fruits that are pre-cut up. And so rather than buying pre-packaged fruits, why not just cut them yourself? Is it really that hard to trim off a pineapple? You're essentially saving 2/3 of the cost. And so if you're making $7, $8, $9, $10 million a year, it doesn't really matter to pay for your fruit at full price. But for the rest of the world, buy your fruits and peel them yourself.
This is for like a day and a half, 2 days worth of food, just for reference. I don't actually shop. I do my butlers do the shopping.
And so here's another tip from me. Don't grocery shop for 2 or 2.5 days. Shop for weeks. Try to stock up on as many things as you can. And of course, perishables, things that you need to get more often. You can go to the grocery store more often. But don't just go to the store and shop for 2.5 days. When you buy in bulk, you're going to save a ton of money. And the less times you have to go to the store, the better.
Yeah.
Stay away from the poison aisle, aka the alcohol, which we know is a class 1 carcinogenic. It's proven to cause cancer. And so it's right up there in terms of health with things such as smoking cigarettes or drinking poison. That is what you're looking at. And so try to keep that to a minimum. And remember, alcohol has 7 calories per gram. Carbs and protein only have 4, and fat has 9. And so it's very fattening, if you will. Empty poisonous calories that can significantly reduce your time here on this planet. And so let's try drinking less.
Ground turkey. It is a scientific fact that turkeys love to be ground up and eaten by humans. 93.7 is really good.
Absolutely. Ground turkey, ground chicken, ground beef, all of these things, they can be very low in calories, but you need to have the ones that are lower in fat. He says 93.7. That is amazing. So in Canada, they consider extra lean as 90.10. It's 10% fat by weight. That says a lot. And so what I've been telling people for years is that regardless of what you're buying, unless it's 96.4, for example, 4% fat by weight, you need to wash your meat. You need to clean it. You need to release the oils, the fats, and so on. It's going to make it significantly leaner. And Mike, he suggests the same. And so perhaps Mike has previously been watching Coach Greg videos, as he's suggesting you do the exact same thing as I do.
And this gives you 20 grams of protein for 8 grams of fat, 0 grams carbs. Of course, meat does not have any kind of carbs that really count for anything.
And so remember, this meat, it has 8 grams of fat per 150 calories. And so you're thinking, oh, it's extremely low in fat. It's only 7% fat. But when you do out the math, 9 calories per gram times 8, it's 72, into 150, it's 48% fat. And so that extra lean ground turkey, whatever, it's almost 50% fat. And so if you wash it, you're going to release about half of that fat. It's going to make it significantly lower in calories. And so perhaps instead of going from 150 calories, it might be only 110. And how many of you think you're only having 1 serving? It's not happening. Perhaps having 2, perhaps 4, perhaps all of it. And so the calories, they add up. If you wash your meat, you're likely saving hundreds of calories per day.
And sometimes if I'm really awful, don't judge me for this, or judge me, fuck it, I will drain the fat and run water through the turkey and drain that again.
And so it's easier to do it like this. Pretend your hamburger, your meat or whatever is like spaghetti, and you get a strainer and you just put it in the strainer and you put the hot water over it and the fat, it drips out. Or you can add water into the frying pan and you simply slowly turn it over. The fat, it's going to float. Fat is actually less dense than water. It floats more. That's why when you're obese, you can perhaps just lay in a pool and swim around. It's less difficult. But if you're heavily muscled, have low body fat, you can kind of sink to the bottom of the pool. And so the fat, it's going to float. You drain out, add some more water to you, drain it out. The more times you do this, the less fat is going to be on your meat. Now, some of the taste goes away. Yeah, it's a little bit more dry. Yeah, but that's why you add in some sauces, some low-calorie sauces. You can add some Veggies barbecue sauce, perhaps Joey Swole's sauce. And speaking of sauce, or more AKA sauce, Derek Janicki's juice. Don't you want to try the brand new pre-workout, the Blue Lobster and so on? And remember, it's got salidroside, the newest ingredient. It's going to take the world by storm. You gots to try it. You gots to get Blue Lobstered. Code Greg, 15%.
Diet bread. There are 2 reasons I get diet bread. One is it gives you that bread feel with like a super tiny fraction of the calories.
And so next up, the diet bread. It's lower calorie breads. They have extra fiber added that are lower in calories, resistant starches, and so on. And so this is an excellent way to have your sandwiches, your French toast, and so on with fewer calories than last time. Now, in Canada, it's very difficult to get these things. You guys in the United States, you know how easy you have it to diet to be healthy? It's so easy that you don't even know it. When we went on diets back in the day, what you had to spice things up was you could put on pepper and salt, perhaps some Mrs. Dash if you were lucky. We didn't have all these tricks. We didn't have all these low-calorie items. We didn't have low-calorie bread. You had to just diet. We certainly didn't have Retatrutide. We didn't have Trizipatide. We didn't have GLPs. We didn't have anything. We just suffered. We did a lot of cardio. Now, you guys, you have it easy. The easiest time ever in order to lose weight. And so if you don't lose weight, it's really on you. At this point, if you don't try, if you don't give a shit about your health and you choose to weigh 500 pounds, that's right, you choose it, it's on you. You can go for a walk. You can put the fork down. You can do cardio. If you don't have time to do cardio, you eat less. In the end, you decide what goes down into your throat. That and your throat go. And so, if you want to lose weight, make it happen.
Here, let's do a quick beer analysis. My favorite part of it is that it's long and hard and black.
Why does he care so much about it being long, hard, and black?
I don't care color, it doesn't matter, white, black, tall, thin, all matters, but I don't understand this.
Why the hell would I ever do that? I'm into fitness or whatever. Because your boy cares about his health.
Well, he's correct. Why would you buy regular potato chips? Like, say no once, and then you don't have to say no every single time you go by the pantry. Now, if you do love chips this much, why not just have the baked ones? They have less fat and calories, it's healthier. I'm not saying to never eat chips, but when you have a 1 pound bag of chips or 5 different kinds in the pantry, you're going to eventually cave and you're going to binge on them. So my advice, only eat chips when you're at your friend's house. All your friends have chips. When you go to that party, they're going to have chips. It's inevitable. You don't want to have them there, but they're there. And so that's the time to give in. You know, I think it's all about balance. And so do you think I eat no chips ever? Now, do I ever buy chips? No. But if I go to my friend's house or it's a party or whatever and there's some chips, I'm probably going to eat some, but I save it there. Now, I don't have to say no ever at my house because it's not there. I don't get my chefs and so on to go and buy chips. But if I'm at a friend's place and there's chips, I'm probably going to eat some chips. I don't need to say no. I don't want to use willpower all the time. So be proactive. Don't get the shit foods that you know you don't want to eat, that you can't have control of. I call them trigger foods, foods that you have a very hard time stopping to eat once you start eating them. For me, chips, another thing would be, for example, cereal and ice cream. I don't buy these things because if I start on a 2-liter ice cream, very likely there's not going to be any of it left when I'm done. Chips, the same thing, as well as cereal. And so I save it for when I'm traveling, special occasions. It's simply not things that I keep into my house.
They're crispy, they're crunchy. This is my favorite flavor, sour cream and cheddar. Shit is so good. 2 grams of protein.
What I would recommend, and you all know, probably those of you who've been watching me for 5 years know this, what snack would I tell you to consume? Smart Pop popcorn. How many of you knew that? It's going to be way lower in calories. It gets the salt. I actually add in the sweeteners on top of it, like Splenda and so on. And I add in some white cheddar or salt and vinegar popcorn spice stuff. You put that on the popcorn. It's amazing. I literally had 2 bags last night. I had 2 bags of Smart Pop popcorn, and I had the Ninja Creamy ice cream, and I was eating it before bed. No problem. That was perhaps 650 calories. In comparison, if I had chips and regular ice cream, probably had 3,000 calories. And so 650 calories versus 3,000. That is why I'm lean. Well, that on top of the fact I'm racing bikes all the time, I'm doing a lot of cardio. This is why. It's not like I grew up all of my life lean. It's not like my parents aren't overweight. My mom weighs almost more than me, and she's 5 feet tall. And so it's not like I have amazing genetics to be lean. But what I do have is amazing willpower and an actual brain that functions still. Thank goodness. I'm lucky that it does. But it tells me, consume fruits and vegetables and lower calorie alternatives and eat from the freaking cookbook. It's going to be so much easier to lose weight. The fact that I'm doing cardio, it's the icing on the cake. If you do all of these things, I promise you, very easy, that's right, easy to lose weight.
And look, the hell are you supposed to eat when you're high in edible marijuana on the weekends and you don't have any friends to hang out with?
Popcorn. Specifically popcorn. When you're high, for example, when I was taking the edibles last night, I had the popcorn and the ice cream. That is what you consume. If you got chips and ice cream, it's game over.
Here's the thing. The only reason I hate it is because of my clinical grade autism that makes most textures and flavors and mouthfeels awful.
Everyone thinks they have autism now, or everyone thinks everyone else has autism. People think I have autism. People accuse me of all the time. You just are you. If suddenly you start thinking you have the thing and you're identified at that and you live your life according to these labels, that's when it's going to consume you. Just live your life. It doesn't matter what you have or don't have. And after all, what if there was no label autism or whatever, ADHD? Whoa, we all have all of it. Oh, we are all of these things. We're just people. Does it look like it's affecting me negatively? Do I look like I'm having a hard time? Aside from my frigging crippling back injury here. But regardless of that, don't let labels control your life. And so these little BO squirts and so on, these are amazing. They're very low in calories. I'm 100% in support of low calorie alternatives for drinks and so on, like Diet Pop or Diet Gatorade, low calorie Gatorade, whatever. I'm supportive of that. If you think, oh, it's going to affect your insulin response, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, whatever. I can't get to you. I'm telling you, if you don't consume calories in a surplus, you're not going to gain weight. And if you drink your calories and they're full of sugar, probably going to hurt you. And so why not drink lower calorie alternatives? Does that not make sense?
I love the orange tangerine because it's amazing. You just put a little dollop of that in your water and then everything tastes like paradise.
And not just in your water, you can put it in your cottage cheese, you can put it in your Greek workout, you can sweeten all kinds of things. These are amazing. It's all about eating foods that you love. I didn't say like, love. If you just like what you're eating, eventually you're going to crave, you're going to go for the crumble. But if you already love what you're eating, you don't need crumble. I don't have cravings for crumble because I already love the foods that I eat. And if you want to love the foods that you're eating, get my freaking cookbook, version 3.1. It's the best one of all. The most pictures, the best recipes. This took perhaps 30 years of my life to create. When I was dieting for those 59 bodybuilding competitions, 42 were natural. I didn't have GLPs. I didn't have secret diets. I didn't have anything. I had to discover over the years, what foods can I make lower in calories so that I can enjoy them and not suffer for so much? I suffer to get shredded. It was very hard. And people know me as, hey, one of the most conditioned guys in every single competition. And that's because I tried, I put in the work, and I developed a plan a diet plan that allowed me to eat the foods that I enjoy and still can lose the weight. And so if you don't know what to do, you can't lose the weight, you've tried, click the link in the description and apply for coaching with Coach Greg and my team right now. The prices have been drastically reduced. You get phone calls with Coach Greg, unlimited text messages you get weekly check-ins, you get the diet, the training, blood work read, everything. And so if you're looking to get in the shape of your life, apply right